Hi guys, welcome back to another. You're supposed to greet English. Greet. Don't be rude.
Close. Let's start.
Greet.
Hello.
Yes. Welcome back to
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode.
That was so YouTuber of us.
Welcome back to another episode of We Perceive as We Are. In today's episode, we're really just going to get into imagination, thought processes, and talking to yourself really. The stem of this, or the reason of this choice of topic, is because talking to yourself is something that we do often, personally, me and Lou. And yeah, it's just something we wanted to talk about, honestly. We just wanted to share our own opinions, share you guys' opinions, share our own stories, get into, start questioning. Because one thing I've learned is that when I'm recording for the podcast and stuff, I start questioning the things that I'm thinking because I'm talking to you guys, So yeah, let's just jump right into the conversation.
Talking to yourself. So I think talking to yourself is completely normal, and I feel like it's very healthy. It's something that I don't think people should be scared of doing. I don't think it should be quote unquote shunned upon, and everybody does do it. That voice in your head, like when your subconscious. What do they call it? What's another word for it?
The voice in your head, guys. I just know it as the voice.
Yeah, the voice in your head. Yeah, people isn't that you talking to yourself? But I feel like the voice in your head could be anything. Most of the time, it's not even your voice.
I've learned that the voice in my head can be my mother. A lot of the time, the voice in my head can be my mother. And that can say a lot. That can say a lot. Because, again, sometimes in some situations, you find that the voice in your head is not necessarily a friend. Especially in people who tend to talk down on themselves, aren't so nice to yourselves. My personal experience,
I feel like it can be your best friend or your worst enemy.
Honestly, the mind in itself, because when you talk to yourself, you're talking to your mind, I personally, when I talk to myself, I'm talking to my spirit. When I talk to myself, I'm talking inside, because it's my conscious mind trying to connect with my subconscious mind and the person, my soul, That's how I take talking to myself.
And I think, do we really know ourselves as much as we think we do? Yeah, I mean, that's just like another thing. I feel like I know I have an idea of myself. Like, most of it is like from what other people see. I'm like, oh, you're like this, this, and this, and this, and this. And I'm like, all right, from there. But then me seeing myself from like myself's point of view is kind of weird, and I don't really see it from that most of the time. When you're talking, you're thinking, oh, how is it going to come up to them? How is it going to... It's mainly
you're trying to alter yourself for the perception of others.
Yeah, not really alter, but then most of the time your mind is at another place. It's not necessarily reflecting back at itself. You know what I mean? It's more of like, okay, I'm talking to this person, I'm forming my words for this, this, and this. But talking to yourself, like at yourself, I mean, like, hey, personally, hey, Lulama, how are you? You know what I mean? It's, oh, I'm good, but then continuing like as if you talk to another person. I don't think people do that a lot. Or I haven't heard that it's like that.
Personally know a few of my friends who do it. And I would always recommend, start a conversation with yourself, because you learn quite a bit, because a lot of people go in the day to day without talking to themselves. And I asked the question, how can you not talk to yourself and then know what's happening in your head? A couple of years ago, I don't know if it was from a family friend or online or something, I found out that some people don't talk to themselves. Some people don't see images in their heads.
You know what? One time my best friend told me that she doesn't dream.
Guys,
that was weird to me because I'm like, how? But she explained it to me that she can. It just gets a lot, so she switches it off, which makes sense. It makes sense. I understand, but then, and it's weird. No, I'm saying not and then, but it's weird how the human mind works in like so many different ways. Especially when you're like thinking your imagination. Some people don't think and see things as you are. Like think about it. When you're behind me right now, I'm looking at the camera. That really doesn't work. But when you're walking and you're thinking about like what's behind me, I think about like an image of what I just saw, of what's behind me, like a full image. I've heard that not everybody sees that. Some people see words which I really cannot comprehend about when you're walking, there's a tree behind you. You don't see the tree, you see a word. Like, honestly.
Like, it's a thing of the imagination, you know? The imagination is what builds the perception of reality.
Hold on, we're not experts on this, by the way. Don't, like...
Yeah, this is our own...
We're just talking here.
These are our own, what's it called? Opinions
views,
and
perspectives.
Views,
we're just speaking.
And from the little knowledge that we do have.
Yeah.
You know?
So...
But I personally believe that imagination is the perception of a person's reality, you know? How a person perceives reality says a lot about their imagination and vice versa, right? So then more logical people, I've noticed that it's the more logical people who work in shapes and they work in words and stuff like that, you know? Because again, as you said, there's people who see text, they see the word tree when they think of tree.
Yeah.
Then there's again a person who sees the shape of a tree.
Yeah.
Then there's the person who sees the color of a tree. That means the person who sees the vibe of a tree.
The vibe of the tree is weird. Like, I know there's a tree, I can see the tree, but like I don't see like an image, like a clear photo image. I know that people see images. For me, it's kind of like seeing it through like a TV screen, or like seeing it through multiple screens or multiple lenses. Then I can quite see. It's quite distant. I don't see like here in my face unless I'm dreaming. In my dreams, my imagination is vivid. Oh, it used to be. It used to be very vivid. Since I was like a kid, I would entertain myself. That's why I love sleep so much. I would say I'm even close to being addicted to it, but I love it so much because there I have full control, right? Anything is my reality. It's hard for me to have nightmares because I control what's there. Someone's trying to bite me. No, you're gone. You know what I mean? It's that type of vibe. My imagination is very, very, very vivid and very broad when it comes to me in my dream state and my deep sleep. Also, when it comes to me just closing my eyes and thinking, it is weird, as I said, I don't really see an image, but I see when you said vibe. Yeah.
When you daydream and when you dream, is it different?
Yeah.
Like, is it two different vibes?
Yeah, it's way different. When I say I don't see images to my day-to-day name, when I'm just walking around, like I'm saying what's behind you, I can see like an idea of it. Or like I know it's there, but I don't really see it. In my dream, I see it. It's there. I can see it. I can touch it. I can breathe it. All of that. But then to my day-to-day, it's not really there.
And that says a lot about the conscious mind and the subconscious mind and how they interact. Or personally, I feel like that says a lot. Because for me, I have more control over my thoughts or my imagination in the day-to-day.
Then when you're dreaming?
Then when I'm dreaming. When I'm dreaming, I have somewhat of control, but my imagination tends to be wild. I would label it as wild. I don't like labeling things.
I feel like it was once wild. You know what I mean? When I was young, I remember when I was 6-ish, I was having a dream and I was being chased by, I don't even know what it was, like a zombie donut. It was weird. It was just something big, terrorizing. I don't know how I was in New York, but I was running in the cities, cars, lights, all of that was there. And I was in the corner and this donut, alien, zombie, whatever thing was coming for me. And I realized everybody's running around. Oh, no, not even everybody's running around. Everybody's standing still. I'm the only one that this thing is like actively chasing. Like the city's in a wreck. But everybody's chill, minding their business. But I'm the one scared, running around. I'm saying, okay, seems like they know they're not scared. They have control. So why am I scared? I'm like, all right, Gotcha, this is my dream. I went to sleep earlier today. Why is this thing having so much control? And I realized from there, when I realized this is my dream, this is my head. I get to control it. From there, it was shy. I mean, when it comes to daydreaming, I go into kind of like a meditative state when I'm trying to like get into it. Like I can close my eyes and I imagine myself in this white room, to that white room in my head, and then I can start like doing the most. I haven't done that in a while. I don't know. I used to do it to other people when I was younger. I like go to put my friends on a bed, tell them to close their eyes, and I'll just be on some think about a while.
Guys, that's basically, I see that as a form of meditating. That is a form
It is in a way, but like,
yeah, I catch. Personally for me, guys, I guess it says also a lot of the control that one has in the subconscious with the conscious, you know, and that says a lot because it translates. I can translate it, or I'm translating it in my head. Like as you said, you have control in your dreams and stuff like that, And the way I see that translating is that in your day-to-day person, you're a very consciously aware person in everything you do. You're a very consciously aware person in the way you speak, in the things that you do, you know.
Now.
Now.
When I was younger, I would just say shit. I mean, I would just speak because why not? Like, actions to consequences really wasn't there. Oh, Shema was much thinking about it as a kid.
But it translates. You know?
It does.
And
it does.
For me, I'm a very free, quote unquote, free spirited. I'm very chill. I just let things be.
Oh, I forgot to introduce these again. This is the second take, but the first take we did introduce them. Hi. This is Mr. Green. We don't have a name. I don't name my plushies. She says it's a red flag and it's weird, but I just have, you know, a connection with them. That's Mr. Green, our co-host for today. Our co-hosts, multiple plural, and Mrs. Purple.
Mrs. Purple.
Or they, them. I really don't know what they identify as. I know it's weird giving them, but that's gonna make me sound crazy. Let's just continue.
But I was saying, I'm a very person who just likes leaves things to chance a lot of the time. But in that same breath, I like control.
Yeah.
I like having things in order. I like.
For me, I don't necessarily need like to be the one controlling things. I just need it to make sense. You know what I mean? For me, in that dream, it didn't make sense why I was the one screaming and yelling, and I was like, okay, this is my dream. And then when I was starting to make sense of it, it clicked to me. I said, okay, this is my dream. So if it makes sense, I can roll with it. But if it doesn't...
Yeah, guys, my dreams work very, very on the opposite spectrum of how you described yours. Like, with my daydreaming, I go into detail, y'all. And I guess that translates also because I'm a very avid reader. I read. Yeah. So my imagination has quite a lot of substance to work with. I like trying new things.
I kind of restricted my imagination.
Why?
Because like I said, it gets very vivid. From my dreams, since it's me dreaming, it doesn't really affect me. I can get deep into it. I can do whatever. That's my reality, right? But if my imagination is like so close to reality for me and how I perceive it, it kind of fucked me up. You know what I mean? As I was walking around, I'm thinking about something, and I don't know whether it's like hallucinations or I'm thinking about something, and since my imagination is just so vivid, boom, it's right there, and I'm like, no, that's my reality. I'm the only one perceiving that since it came from my head. Damn, do I need help?
No, but it's a thing of, I get what you mean.
So, when I was younger, so I'm like, okay, nah, since I would like be living my dreams, I'll be dreaming like in real life, and I was like, okay, that's not gonna work for me since not everybody can see this. I affected. No, but am I crazy? Now that I'm saying it out loud, it makes me seem so crazy. But like all of that, I'm like, okay, now I'm just going to cut it in half. Like I can still imagine, I can still think about these things, but then letting them fully manifest, bad idea.
Personally, for me, I never had the issue of manifesting in real life. I always had, as I said, I always had the issue of manifesting in my dreams, you know, like in my day-to-day daydreaming. I go deep, guys. I make names, I make storylines, I make personalities. There's a music track that runs with the daydream. My daydreams can go deep.
Yeah.
And you know how people daydream once, then they leave the dream and then they move on. I used to have a thing where I could carry the day.
Carry the dream.
No,
I get a thing from my bed all the way to when I go back to sleep. It's the same dream. And I'm just running it as director, filmmaker, closet, makeup, everything. And it would work like that.
So you see how you can control your dreams in REM sleep? I can do that in day to day.
But then like as I'm getting older, I feel like I'm losing touch with that.
And I feel like I agree with that, you know. And I feel like it's not necessary. It's the thing of you lose touch with self.
I really can't see your eyes.
It's a thing of a thing of you lose touch with self.
Can you see though?
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah.
It's a thing of you lose touch with self, you know. Like for me, when I go into my dreams, when I stopped dreaming recently, that's a whole thing. But when I go into my dream, when I used to dream, my dreams, I wouldn't really have much control, guys. I'd be a passenger, and then
that's crazy.
No, but the only control I would have in my dreams, was can I leave, can I not? That's it. Everything else was a thing of I'm just along for the ride.
I don't know. For me, that is just, I can't comprehend that. You know why? Because it's your head.
No, but listen. You remember how you said it would start manifesting into real life?
Oh my gosh, where is the spider?
Oh my gosh.
You know what? Let's not get distracted. Yo, this spider has been chasing us, harassing us since he's trying to record this thing. Anyway.
But yeah, it's a thing of, you know how you were saying in real life, you'd manifest your things and then you wouldn't have control of if you're seeing it or if you're not, it would just come.
No. I would have like control whether like it's reality and it's not reality.
No, but I'm talking about you said you wouldn't have control if you see it, like if it would come.
Yeah, sometimes it would just jump. Like I'd be thinking about something and then like I'm seeing it the next day. Actually, where did that? Ever since like when I was around like 10, that stopped.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. A lot of my creativity, my inspiration, my imagination, just that wonder, that childlike wonder that got me there, kind of like disappeared a bit. Because I wasn't really in tune with my head, and I think losing yourself, since all of that comes from you, and you lose yourself, that's how it kind of disappeared. When I got into school, other people, friends, media, all of that stuff, they started to influence the stuff that was going on in my head, and I was like, okay, no, I don't really like that too much, because I want full control since it's my head, and I just really didn't get back into it as deeply.
Like for me with my dreams, I never really had control. As I was saying, I don't really have control. Sometimes when I enter my dreams, I might have control for the first 5 minutes.
I remember that trend in 2020. What was it? Dreaming, like a lucid dreaming.
Yeah, lucid dreaming.
It wasn't like I tried it. No, it wasn't lucid dreaming. It was astral projection.
But then
yeah.
So then I tried astral projection. Wouldn't recommend. I had nightmares, guys. Maybe it's because...
No, with me, I tried it once.
I've tried lucid dreaming for me. And when I tried it, I had nightmares. So I wouldn't say... a person who doesn't... guys, please. For a person who has a vivid imagination, especially in your sleep, and doesn't have control over it, I wouldn't recommend lucid dreaming.
Yeah, because if it's hectic and you can't control it,
guys, it can get hectic, And already, I think the thing is, I had tried it just on a whim. I had tried it just on a whim, and as I said, my dreams already were quite intense. My dreams are quite vivid. A lot of the time, I don't remember my dreams, but I remember the feelings. Have you ever had a dream so intense that you remember all the feelings you went through with that dream? All the emotions, crying, laughing, everything.
Once I woke up from the dream in tears. I mean, in tears. And I was like, what? I don't like dreams that I don't remember.
But as well, guys, I feel like the thing that we haven't said so far is that dreams, personally for me, say what the subconscious can't translate into words. Your dreams have messages.
They do. Since I remember my dreams now, when I'm going through like something, and when you're thinking to yourself, you're thinking. When it comes to talking to yourself, sometimes it can get like a lot. You know what I mean? Since it's in your head, I don't know, me specifically, I could say my brain runs at like 2x, 3x speed. So it's like 100 tabs open, music playing at the back. So I'm go through now. I'm dealing with this one thing on, that let's just take the brain. My brain is like a computer, so it makes more sense. So like I'm working on this one tab, and then a thought is like a pop-up ad, right? A thought is there. I'm talking to myself. I'm working through an issue, a situation, whatever it is. I'm working. Then a pop-up until it completely finishes or like completely fills the page of what I was trying to do. And speaking out loud to myself helps a lot. I had a conversation with my friend yesterday. It's like speaking out loud is just amazing, just sitting outside speaking, not specifically to the moon, to the sky, to if you're religious or God, just speaking to yourself but out loud, like you're venting to somebody. You can catch things that you really didn't notice, like, oh damn, it's connecting now. Yeah.
And I feel like in that same breath it's the same with dreams,
as I was connecting.
Like dream journals help. I've tried to keep one. Consistency, guys. But dream journals help because there's a lot of hidden messages for me personally. I believe that there's a lot of hidden messages in dreams. You can learn a lot from your own dreams, because guys, dreams is just your imagination let free. Dreams is your imagination without for people who can't control it, without borrowing. That's why, again, nightmares and then intrusive thoughts. I feel like there's a such thing as intrusive dreams. I need to check that out, actually. Because guys, sometimes there's a dream where you're just like, where you're confused.
Yeah, since like me personally, I say that I'm conscious and I'm there when I'm dreaming most of the time. Like I said, lately, since I've gotten older, it isn't really a thing. And I don't know whether it's like the childlike wonder of it all and, just not caring, since I'm old and I have more things to worry about. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm not thinking about the story in my head. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like, I feel like something that isn't talked about quite often when we talk about imagination and when we talk about talking to yourself, one thing I haven't seen spoken about within my circle of friends, I don't want to say within everywhere, but specifically within my circle of friends and my peers, is feeding your imagination. That journey, because as kids, we're always doing things and interacting with things that feed our imaginations. Cartoons, stories, music, and stuff like that.
As I was saying, that childlike wonder does really fuel it, because nowadays don't really look around, or I'm not gonna say it for everybody, but if you relate to what I'm saying, then like you just don't really look around the tree like, damn, that leaf is beautiful, and think about the story and the basis of that leaf. And like when you're a kid, you think about all of those things. Like, or me personally, I would find interest in everything. Like that rock, I'm trying to think, okay, how did this rock get here? In South Africa, in my yard, it could have traveled the world, and there's a story, you know what I mean? I don't really think and see life like that anymore, and I'm trying to go back to it, because I feel like no matter your age, just seeing the wonder in everything. Because nowadays, life, sorry if you're going to understand, but nowadays, it's like you see a target, you're supposed to see specific things, you have an aim, look at that, don't skew off your path, all of that, and you miss out on all these small little details, or you miss out on the road when you're so focused on the journey.
Oh, so focused on the goal.
Oh yeah, when you're so focused on the goal, you forget about the journey and all the wonders and what you could have found in it.
And some people have an easier time. Grasping that imagination, like holding it on and moving with it into adulthood. From childhood into adulthood, those phases. And guys, it's not easy to keep that grasp on your imagination as you're growing up. Personally, I can say that as a person who used to see imagination in everything. And I can say used to,
to see wonder in everything.
Yeah, see wonder in everything. See wonder in life, because that's imagination.
Yeah, life was just interesting.
You see, guys, I would look at the cloud and, guys, a basic thing as finding shapes in clouds.
I still do that to this day, but yeah.
I stopped doing that. I don't know when I stopped doing it, And a lot of people don't realize when you've lost your imagination.
Thank you. Like when you lose that I don't know what to call it, but that essence. You know what? It's since life, as I was saying, going back, life is just so busy. I feel like it can get lost. It's not really gone, but it's lost, because all of these other layers, all of these other, influences are distracting you, so you don't really have time to go and focus and think about that. And I understand that it's not an important thing, right? But I feel like it helps you see the joy in life. For me personally, right now, I can think, what a day, what's the point of it? You know what I mean? Like, but as a kid, every day I would wake up because I knew there was something new, there was something amazing that I haven't seen before, and I was willing to go out there and see it. And I'm trying to get that back. And I'm still young, y'all.
Yeah, guys. And it's a thing, like imagination. I feel like also one of the things that can kill imagination, slowly but surely, like anything can kill it. But my personal experience is knowledge. Because knowledge is powerful. Knowledge is heavy.
I do agree.
And
knowing. Knowing.
Yeah, knowledge is powerful. Knowledge is heavy. And I had said this to a friend once, that knowledge means nothing unless you apply it. And finding that balance of applying knowledge but keeping the creativity and the imagination can be a challenge. It was a challenge. It is a challenge for me, finding that balance between logical and creative and imaginative, because I guess it depends on a person's personality style as well. But that thing of leaning towards one or the other, leaning towards logical is
but
what...
not everything will make sense.
Not really.
I mean, when it's like, for me, since I'm always the one, or what got me, since I'm always looking for answers, I would say I like just looking for answers. And one thing that I had to teach myself is that when you're looking into something, there's a point where you can look too deep into it. You need to let go sometimes. Because me, I've almost drove myself crazy looking for an answer that isn't there, but the actual thing is the answer, but I'm looking at it for the answer. So just stepping back, like, all right, I'm not gonna get any more deeper into that is important, because I feel when that balance of logic and just there's more to it, I'm like, now this is the end to it, is important, as you were saying. Because
as again, logic is that thing of logic. Personally, for me, in the way that society is built right now, logic will keep you alive. Logic will keep you one step ahead. But creativity puts you in places that can't even be imagined, because there is no end to it. Logic has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. Creativity doesn't have that.
You just run till you find something.
You just run till you find something.
And like in most cases, or like in some cases.
And that, in my personal experience with that, is that the balance of it, finding that balance. And I know I've said this a lot this episode, I don't know if it made sense, but it's really a thing of, this imagination is something that's very heavy to me, something that's very important to me, because imagination is what keeps us alive in this world. Waking up every day,
you imagine. No, I'm like, it's like ways you're saying. No, finish.
Waking up every day just being happy to be there, because you can see different things, because the trees are breathing. You can't do that logically. You can't.
But some people, they do live. I'm like, when you imagine your future, you don't know it. You're guessing it. You're imagining it. And when you wake up and you work and you go to work, you go to school, whatever, you're imagining your future. And if you didn't imagine that, you wouldn't have a goal. You wouldn't want to do anything. Man, I'm like, it depends. As you're saying, I don't know if this episode made a lot of sense. So you guys let us know. Thing about me and Zile is like,
we've mentioned
that that's how we want to have like
more people
in
the
the perspectives on things. Because I feel like looking at the same, as I said it yesterday, looking at the same problem and expecting a different solution.
The definition of insanity. We've kind of built and we've kind of picked up that, because me and Lulu interact so much,
like 24/7, we can make sense of what we're saying to each other. But then from like a third perspective, sorry for finishing your shit, I feel like I'm being rude, but like, it's hard. We've realized that aside from me and Zile, it's weird, because it was a point where we were each other's translators. You wouldn't understand one without the other one there. They're like, oh no, she's just trying to say, we're working on it, but
and this podcast helps. Again, this episode might have not made the greatest of sense. It might have not made much sense, but it
it's
had
just the perspective, it had just talking.
It had a direction, believe it or not. It had a direction. We planned it out. It wasn't random. We've changed. But it's a thing of, that's the thing. Keep creating. I feel like that's a message for anyone who's stuck around this long to finish the video. Keep creating, because the worst thing that can happen to a person, for me personally, is you lose your creative side. You lose your imagination. That's, as Lulu was saying, you need your imagination for even the mundanest of things. Planning what you're going to eat in the morning, planning what's going to do with your day, working out. You need your imagination.
And before we end this, I feel like your dreams, and talking to yourself tools that can help with quote unquote mental health and like healing, and just in basic situations, you know what I mean? I like my imagination and me talking to myself when it comes to for preparing, like just preparing for anything. When I'm preparing to talk to people, for me, it helps with my social, quote unquote, social anxiety when it comes to going outside, because with my imagination, I can try to think about as many outcomes that can happen in that situation. I know it's weird because it also counts in, it's hard for me to think for other people, you understand? And you can't really like weigh on what they're gonna say, but it helps me prepare. It just helps me in that way. So I feel like if you use it in whatever way that you see fit,
like
as well as having control over it, because as Zile say, it can get crazy.
Like it's healthy balance.
Yes, a healthy balance. Just balancing it out.
And definitely, this is a conversation that I feel like each of these things that we mentioned, talking to yourself, imagination.
I feel like this conversation in a whole is definitely something we're going to be getting back into, probably with like a third party, or making it make more sense, or having more of a direction. But as you said, we walked into this with a direction. Don't know if you're going to understand it, so let us know. But now we're just going to be having more random conversations, thoughts, and try to be less putting ourselves in a bubble.
Yeah.
Understand? Because normally, now I don't know if I'm being like too honest on here, but it's hard to like think about an episode and try to plan it out. And when I sit, I'm already tired of planning it out, that I don't have that enthusiasm. And from the beginning of this whole podcast journey, it's just having, those conversations in your room at night. That's the type of conversation, those weird ones that, I wonder if somebody else is thinking this. Those type of conversations are the ones that we want to be having.
Yeah.
Am I talking fast?
A little bit, yeah. Those are the conversations that we want to be having. And then also getting people's perspectives, because again, the whole thing is perspective. So please, guys, let us know how we can improve. Or not necessarily how we can improve. Let us know your thoughts.
Constructive criticism is appreciated, but don't be mean, because I bite back.
But let us know what you guys think. This has been an odd episode of
We Perceive As We Are. Be ready to see more. I hope you enjoyed whatever this conversation was. As you said in the beginning, we did have some sort of a correlation plan. But yeah, you let us know how you enjoyed it. Hopefully, please like, subscribe, and do the most. See you next week.
Bye.